No, Boeing, it just makes it saleable. You're basically breaking it down so they can fence it. Because apparently fences don't employ any jewel cutters to actually break things up. What the heck is that? Put a camera on 205. Wait, where's the mailbox? Yeah, right. You can't even open the gate? Look at this. How was your flying this week? Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, I've had 3 night lessons cancelled, and last night it was the first time that the weather was just right. It was just great. Last night there was hardly any cloud. It was, I think, 2 Celsius on the ground, cold, still, and we went out. We flew for like 90 minutes in night, flew all over to Ipswich. I had to wait until like 4:15, I think it was, and then the sun was like officially by CAA standards, that's now nighttime. Wait a sec. Is that a guard or a tenant? So yeah, I had to wait till 4:15, and then I'd already got a route planned. I showed him a route. It went to Ipswich, down to Colchester, down to Chelmsford, back up to Earlscombe. And yeah, we took off, and like he was teaching me the things I need to do, like you know, as soon as you take off, you must instantly switch to instruments, so you're flying in instruments only until you get to at least like 700 feet, and then you can start looking out, which I did. So did all that. We flew up to Ipswich. It was just, I can't describe it. It's just so good. So good. You can see ridiculous distances. It was like everything just seems to be closer because you can see things that are miles away. So you're like, oh wow, there's Colchester. And then like it takes 10 minutes to get there. It's just bizarre. But yeah, you could just look down and just see it all happening. You can see the trains going past. You can see all the roads with all the rush hour traffic on it. Red and white lights. You can make out like emergency services. Like you can make out a police car from miles away. You just see a flashing blue light and you're like, wow. So flew all that, flew over Ipswich, like circled over Ipswich. It was just amazing looking down on it. Flew to Colchester, flew over Chelmsford and saw the Army and Navy roundabout. So sort of turned over the Army and Navy roundabout and heading back. And then the fun really began. Because by then it was pitch black, right? It's super dark. There was hardly any moon last night. Really, really dark. And then I got my first taste of landing back at Earl's Cone at night, which is absolutely hilarious. Because, okay, you can see the runway lights from a long way away because Earl's Cone's runway lights are omnidirectional, so you can see them from any angle. Whereas, you know, a lot of runway lights are unidirectional. So you can see them from quite a while away. We went over it, descended, came back around, and he went, right, I'll do the first landing. And I went, yeah, okay, I want to see a landing anyway. So we turned onto base, and I'm looking at this runway, and I'm going, so normally, like, the visual reference points that I use, there's, like, some farmers' sheds that I use as a waypoint. Can't see it. There's a town with a church that you use as you turn it onto final. Can't see it. Like, everything is just the lights that you can see. So he turned onto final, and we're coming in, and I know, like, runway 24 on Earl's Cone, I know the approach. if you want to see, I've got a video where I landed. You can see the approach. On the approach, there's like a row of hedges. There's like a road and a row of hedges as you come in on final. And at that point, I'm thinking, so if you're too low, you're going to hit these bushes, these hedges. And you can't see them. Like, it's completely black. Completely black. There's no lighting there at all. All you've got is the dots of the runway lights, and then the abbreviated PAPI. That's it. That's all you have to go off. You can't see the road. You can't see the bushes. You can't see anything. And we're coming in, and it was at that point that I just realized that, in a very literal sense, my life depends on the configuration of that PAPI light. Like, if that PAPI light is wrong, I could get too low. And if I'm too low, I'm going to hit those bushes that I can't even see. It's that point, like, you realize the difference between reality and a sim. In that moment, that's when you realize the difference between a sim and what you're doing now. Your life depends on these lights. And it's quite an eye-opener. So anyway, we and he said to me, you want to be aiming, you want to get the red white. He said, you'll see the red white, you'll see the red go like a pinky color. He said, what you don't want is the white to start going pink. He said, if that happens, you're now starting to get too low. He said, you never, ever, ever want to be two red lights. Never. He said, but the problem with two red lights is you don't know how low you are. You're below the glide slope, but you don't know by how much. You can't see the ground. Never, ever want that. He said, if you're too white, you're too high. Well, you can always go around. But if you're too low, you might hit something, quite literally. So, yeah, too red, you're dead. Exactly. So, but like I say, in a sim, you can learn this stuff. But in reality, it really focuses your attention. Massively focuses you, because you know that if this is not right, like if you come in on too red, you might hit something. Yeah, it's called abbreviated PAPIs. Some runways, smaller airfields have like 2 lights instead of 4. It's called an abbreviated PAPI. It's the same thing though. Instead of having 4 lights, you have 2. So instead of going for 2 white, 2 red, you'll see you go for 1 white, 1 red, basically. So anyway, he landed it, and he sort of, he took off again, and he said, right, I want you to have a go now. He said, you all right with having a go? I was like, yeah, let's do it. I felt like I'd seen it and I knew what to do. So we went round the circuit, and he said, I suggest you extend your downward leg a little bit, because we had a wind coming in that was basically like on base leg. It was really shortening base leg. It was very hard to get down on base leg. We were turning on to final at 800 feet, and you need to be 5. So we said, suggest you extend your downwind leg, which I did. So we're flying over the town, which is not ideal. You're not really meant to do that. They don't want you doing that, really, but obviously you can in circumstances like this. So we did, and I got onto the glide slope, and I was doing quite well. And here's the thing, right? So you've got the white lights of the runway, and they've got the PAPI lights, and then at the front you've got the green lights, right? And I'd already looked at the runway. I knew that the green lights were, if we went over the green lights, we were safe, like with loads of runway. And what I did was I flew in on red white, but then just near the end I allowed it to go to 2 red. And the reason I allowed it to go to 2 red was because I was already over the green light at that point. Oh, he pulled me up about that. He wasn't happy with that. It was like, I said to him, well, we were over the green, so I knew we were over the runway. He said, I understand what you're saying. He said, but never, it's just bad practice. He said, just never, ever, ever 2 red, ever. He said, fly it all the way down on red, white, all the way in. I was like, okay, fair enough. But it was great. Like, I came in after 90 minutes of flying at night, and it was just so good. I enjoyed all of it. I had a smile on my face. It was really enjoyable. Flying at night is just cool. Like, there's nobody up there, really. You've got your IFR traffic, but they're well out the way. But there's hardly anybody doing VFR, so it's just you in the sky. It's just fantastic. As long as you know where you are and you're not going to bust any airspace, you can just really enjoy yourself. Really good fun. What's his routine? White and white, you fly all night. What aircraft did you do your training in? Oh yeah, so here's another thing. I learned to fly in a Robin HR200, and then, I don't know if you remember, but like back in October, I cross-trained onto the PA-28 Warrior 2, which is one of the other aircraft they have. So I trained on the PA-28. No sooner had I trained on it, it went in for maintenance for a week. So I flew a Robin for a week. Then I went back onto the PA-28 when it came out of workshop. Last week, all of my night flyings was cancelled. This week, I went up on Monday night hoping we'd fly, but the weather wasn't good enough. And when I was leaving, when I was driving home, I got a phone call from the airfield. I was like, why are they calling me as I'm driving home? And it was my instructor. He said, I've got some weird news. I said, okay. He said, you know the PA-28 Warrior that you fly normally? I said, yeah. He said, I've just been told that the flight club has just sold it. I went, what? He said, yeah. He said, I'm surprised as you are. I said, I've just been told now that they've sold it and that I should give you a call to tell you. I was like, right. Okay, so the only PA-28 that you've just sold. And that's what I've just trained onto. Thanks. And he said, and I've also been told, been authorized to tell you that you can cross-train onto the Cessna 172 for 50% of the price. So I was like, okay. He said, so obviously, he said, when night flying, he said, you want to be comfortable in quite a few hours flying the 172 before you start doing your night rating in it. He said, so he said, it's up to you, but I suggest you just complete the night rating in the Robin. So I went, all right, I'll have a think. So I had a think, and I looked up the equipment on the 172, because I know it has more modern equipment. So I looked it up, and no, it's not retractable. It's a Skyhawk 172M is what it is. It doesn't have retractable landing gear, and it doesn't have its fixed pitch. But what it does have, it's been fitted with a Garmin GTN 650, which is a pretty decent GPS, and an EFD 1000 or an E1000, I think it is, which is an electronic flight display. So instead of having an analog altitude and analog speedo, you have like it gets rid of the attitude indicator and you have it's all digital basically. So it has like the ticker tape altitude and ticker tape speed, and then you have your attitude there. So, and that's hooked into the GTN 650. So basically it's like the most modern plane they have in that sense. You know, it has the kit. You can do IFR and procedures and all kinds of stuff in it. It has the kit. I like the space in a 172. Like, it's so much room inside a 172. But when I flew it, like I flew it in a little bit of a crosswind, and I came into land. Like some of the problems with a 172 that you don't really see in a sim, but you do notice when you fly it for real. The 172, the wings are like barn doors, and they generate insanity amounts of lift. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, is it that time? Yeah, we can do Doyle. They generate insane amounts of lift, those wings, which is why they're really popular, because you can get them into really short fields and take off out of short fields because they've just got so much lift. Caught me out. Came into land with it when I was doing it, and I landed, and then it just took off again. It's like land took off. And then my instructor had to take over and land the aircraft. Yeah, you can hear Doyle. We'll get Doyle on. Dolly, come on, boy. Here he is. Yes, Sir Bark-a-Lot. Come on, say hi to everybody. Say hey. Hey. Cheesy bite time. How you doing, pal? He's refused to have his tea so he can come in here. Blimey. Yeah, they really can lang about. Like, landing one in a crosswind is not easy. In fact, my instructor said it's perfectly normal in a 172 to land on one of the main gear wheels. Basically land it into the wind on one wheel and then put it down. He said that's perfectly fine in a Cessna. Because of the high wing, you can get away with that. PH28 you have for an X-Plane is an Archer 3 with G1000. Yeah, see, G1000 is basically cheating, Luke. It's like the most modern you can get. I've watched people landing a 172, and what they tend to do is basically float it for quite a long time down the runway, let the lift just die, and then it goes down. So I think I just need to float it a lot more. But yeah, apart from that, like in benign conditions, a 172 is beautiful to fly, but in crosswind conditions, it can be very interesting. Connor, hello Doyle and Mrs. Squirrel. Sorry to hear about your fuel station incident, Mrs. Squirrel.
It was so embarrassing. I went back to pay the man and I gave him the wrong slip, and he's like giving me my postal order back. I said, oh, that's another fiasco I've had. You'll be happy to know my evening's not gone well since I've left you. So, he assures me I'm not going to get the policeman knocking at the door.
Well, you've paid. You can prove you've paid.
I have to keep my receipt just in case.
Yeah, you want to keep that. It's like, you know, when I do pay at pump.
Yeah.
Whenever I get pay at pump, I always get a receipt. I always get receipts, and I put it in my car, and it stays there for a couple of weeks before I bin it. Because just in case. Just in case they think I've driven off and not paid.
Going in a frame on the fireplace. Keeping it forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do, Langeveld. That's exactly what you have to do.
That's one little buddy. You've been taking advantage while they've been talking about you.
Yeah, you've been having lots of cheesy bites, haven't you? Yeah. Right. Say bye-bye.
Daddy, you talk about your favourite. Daddy, eat.
Dad. Yeah, pal. Alright, off you go.
Come back.
Eh?
Yeah, he's in this one.
Oh, he thinks every box is for him. He is like a child. He's like, oh, there's a box, that must be mine. It's for me, stuff in it. Welcome back to Lock here. So what I've decided to do is I'll be doing my night rating in a Robin. So I'm going to complete the night rating in the Robin because I can fly it and it's easier to do it. And then in January, I'm going to start on the 172 conversion. So I'm going to get that booked in shortly. So it looks like I'll be flying the 172. I just hope that I can come to like the aircraft. Because I love the way the PA-28 flies. I just love the way it flies. It's so nice to fly. The Cessna is more convenient in many respects in that it has more room. Lots of headroom, 2 big doors to get in and out of. Like, it's just great for that. The PA-28 is a bit of a pain in that sense, but when it's in the air, the PA-28 is just brilliant to fly. So, we'll see. If I can't get on with the 172, I mean, my instructor said to me, he said, to be honest with you, whatever you're going to do, you know, even if you're just going to fly a different plane in a different school, he said, my advice to you, 50% discount, I'd just take that. Like, you know, getting to fly, you know, 4 to 5 hours cross-training at half price, he's like, take it, get the hours, and then decide what you want to do. Yeah, I'm reading it, Trey. I'm reading that you've fixed it and it's a delay thing. Hmm. I don't know, Dream. I guess what you're saying there is we only have one choice, though. It's going to have to be a bigger time, isn't it? 5 hours in the EU, ESA has different requirements. Our VFR rating here in the US wouldn't count for night rating in the EU, though, fly in the US. Yeah, I know Cat Straight has told me that the night rating is kind of wrapped up in the PPL, whereas over here it's a separate rating. It takes like 5 hours. Some of the things that I have to do now, because I basically did my cross country, bizarrely enough, on Monday, was it, F-Luke? Yeah. So because I had a plan, I don't think it was meant to happen this way, but he was only going to do the night familiarity, but I said to him, I've got a plan. I literally printed all the plan out. And then as I was flying this plan, he kept saying to me, he said, so how long left to destination now? And I was like, oh, 3 minutes to Colchester. And then we'd get to Colchester and he'd go, how are we doing for time? And I'd be like, we're 30 seconds early. I'm just going to turn in 30 seconds. So like every waypoint, he was checking my time. And I realized now, because when we got out the plane, he said to me, he said, well, actually night familiarity and also your cross country done. Because basically I'd navigated at night accurately with the timings and everything. He just went, yeah, that's fine. You're done for that. So that was good, because I think that would have been another lesson. But what I do have to do is I have to land without any pappy lights, which I'm not going to lie, I ain't looking forward to that. You literally, the only thing you have to go off is the aspect of the runway. So I have to land without any pappy lights. And then you have to land without any landing light, which I'm not bothered about because the landing light is rubbish anyway. I'm not joking. The landing light is like, it's like shining an old torch on that plane, on that particular plane anyway. Do you use an app while you're flying? Nah, you can't, because Sky Demon, which is the one I use, doesn't have a night mode on it, even though it's been asked for like 3 or 4 years. It doesn't have a night mode, so it's way too bright. It will just smash your night vision, so you can't use it. If I was in the 172, yeah, I could use the Garmin. Auto land, Chewy. Yeah, what's that? In a Robin, auto land. Okay, Dre. Probably help to fix it, won't it? I tell you what, they like being outside in this house, don't they? I was going to put a camera up, but I couldn't find where the mailbox was. Yeah, I think on the 172 the lights might be brighter, and maybe some of the other Robins the lights might be brighter. I don't know. So yeah, so in January I'll cross train onto 172. I'll fly that. If I don't like it that much, then I either have to go back and fly the Robin, or I'm going to have to find a different plane to fly in. Which is a case of, we'll see. Use Sky Demon during the day, Energy 1000 at night. Yeah. I wish I had more choice around the area, you know? I wish I had more kind of planes that I could fly. There aren't enough flight. Like in my area, you've got North Weald Airfield, but they've mostly got 152s, and the 172s they have are like a less equipped than the one at our school. You've got Andrews Field, which has some decent, like, they have some decent planes, but Andrews Field is within Stansted's control zone, so it's a real pain to take off and fly out of. And they only have grass runways, they don't have tarmac. So what they do in winter, I do not know. How much would a 172 be without a discount, Captain Flint? Are you talking about to buy? You could buy a 1970s 172, 30, 40 grand, I guess. But you're buying into a world of expense. Yeah, I don't know, Atawi. It might just be a case of, like, I tried it once and I tried it in crosswind conditions, and, you know, maybe it's just a case of trying it in sort of nicer conditions and getting used to it that way. It's all red thing then. Trying to find all the cameras in this area.
Ho, 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 ho.
You never took off landing on a grass runway. I mean, when the weather's fine, like in our airfield, we have a tarmac and a grass runway. And once the grass runway's open, you always land on the grass runway because it's just, well, A, it's wider at my my airfield. But B, it's just softer. It's more easy going on the landing gear. And as a result, when you land on it, it's just a softer landing. It's just nicer. Connor, is there going to be a Christmas bake-off this year? I don't know. If so, I think a nice twist, you should take part in the bake-off as well. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not like I'm not streaming or anything. You know, I'll just go and do that too. I don't know, Connor. Let's see what schedule we've got on these. 20, is it 204? 205. This is 205, so we've almost got. The only thing we don't have for 205 is 6 p.m. onwards, which is now. So I just need to catch somebody in the window. Suspicious activity reported, man talking about flying while standing in my yard. That's pretty much it. Need to catch a view from outside.
Welcome back, Nutter.
Yeah, Christmas schedule is mostly there. It's there is a link the mods can give you, or you can look at that. Uh-oh.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Somebody just saw me holding binoculars. Thought it was a bit weird. Trying to get a view inside, but I think they might have shut the shutters down. Yep. Wait, have they done up and down? Blue shirt guy, where is he? Him? He's on the outside, isn't he? I'm thinking there must be a camera around the back here and I can't find it. Good spot. I don't know why he's outside, but he is. That might give us the whole lot. Oh my god, look at this. This guy is in the house 24 hours a day. What? And this one only goes out for like 3 hours. Blimey. They must love their home. But he's basically on patrol, isn't he? That's going to be a difficult house to rob. I mean, just looking at the cameras pointing at the gates and everything. That's going to be so difficult. Camera in 206. Must be one of those streamer houses, Baz. Oh. Look at that. That's a 100% no-go area. I wonder if that's going to keep panning all the way around the driveway. Nope. I think they should have given you more freedom to be inventive in this game. Instead of like restricting the way that you can get in. Exactly, you can't just jump over walls and things that are so obviously jumpable. They should have made the game a bit difficult in other ways rather than just the way they've chose to do it. It's like all around the back there's no camera, but the game just makes it so that you cannot break in this way. There's no break in this at all. Ooh. So why can't I mark you? No. So you can only get in from the front if you somehow bypass these I think you'd have to walk down this side. That's what you'd have to do. But again, I can't break in here anyway, I don't think. So I can't break in through the gate, and this gate is like completely impossible. Oh no, it's not. You can go around here. Tell a lie. Now we just gotta hope I've not missed a camera. Having said that, all the security shutters are down, so I can't do anything anyway. There's no way this game would let you jump over. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was close. I reckon there'll be a camera at the front door as well. Detected? What by? I honestly don't know what's detected me. Right. We should have a full breakdown now. Alright. So there's always somebody in the house. From 1 PM till 2 PM, they're always in the kitchen. No, I've never been south of the equator, AK. Oh no, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Because that person's going to leave soon and they'll spot the gate. Ruined. Okay, let's go and put a camera on 208. Whoa. Hello, guy with a ginormous house. Hey. How much... Are they security guards in the blue shirts? They kind of look like it. Look at this. Electronics level 2 and a hacking PDA. Look at the guards. So you'd think you could climb on this and then just jump over the wall, but you can't. I can't actually find a mailbox on this house. I don't know what the postman does.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Mr. Diogo, thank you for 16 months. Yod. Thank you for 7. Jump on the bin, jump on the rock, jump over. Oh my god. It actually worked. I could actually get in. Look at that. Is that a camera though? That is a camera. Yeah, the construction sites where they're going to add new houses. Probably a DLC. Okay, that's fine. How do you get out? I haven't figured that bit. Cameras everywhere. Hmm. I think it's the security guard makes it easy to discover their routine. Not see many cameras. Camera there. To wait for these suspicious pedestrians to leave. Come on. Yeah, I think these are like probably the 2 of the biggest houses in the game, and they have no box that you can put a camera on, so you have to discover the routines by spying on the people inside. Look at that, it's patrol. Like, how are you supposed to distract those patrol guys? There aren't many houses in this area, actually, if you look. Because they're all, like, massive houses. That one 201. I think we got 201, didn't we? Yeah. I wish you could throw something. I love games like that, where you can distract them. Anybody remember a game called Tenku? I think it was. Like PlayStation 1, maybe 2. That was fun. Used to throw bowls of rice, like, to distract the guards. Like, bowls of rice, they used to go up, like, ooh. And you just nip round the back of them and murder the boss. Brill. 2 neighborhoods. This is the second one, I think. We just need to vacate and come back because I messed up earlier. Tenku Stealth Assassin. Yeah, Tenku 2 was a massive disappointment, though. Level up. Didn't do anything. Level 19. Oh, look at that. 2 XP into level 19. Get it. Right, we're saving this point because we need it. See if there's any jobs to do. I don't think there is, actually. Not in the new bit. Oh, telephone. Break or steal the lioness painting from 206. That sounds tricky. We'll take it, but I don't think I can do it yet. This one, 101. Break a window, break a wine glass, and break or steal a painting. We'll do that to get the XP. That might bring us to level 20. Oh, the things they get you to do as a thief is weird. Like, breaking windows, buy a crowbar and smash somebody's bathroom sink. What? How's that being a thief? 1 of 4 jobs. 101 Smiths. Let's look at that. We'll park it. Smiths. Let's have a look. Wow, I have no info for the Smiths. Don't even know if they've got camera. It's more of a thug simulator. It is a little bit. It's like Odd Job Man. Hmm. 9 PM. So 4 AM. Shutters, maybe? I don't know. Actually, I think there is an electric box. Let's come back at 8 PM. Oh, hey. This guy just watches the electric box before he leaves. Now, interestingly, does this... Because he doesn't have a cone of vision in front of him. So he actually doesn't care that I'm opening the door on the electric box. It's so weird. Okay, we better not do it while they're in. Might get a bit suspicious. It's like a vase in the garden. Wait. Porch, 9 PM, leave. He's not even bothered by me standing there looking at him. Hey. Yeah, we'll just wait. Like at 9 o'clock, he should leave now. If we've got the right house. And then we're going to kill the power and go in. That's the plan. I think he's about to leave. Yep, there he goes. Electricity will be fixed in 240 seconds. We're going to get seen. To break that? Right, so what do we have to do? Break or steal the painting. It'd be nice if we could nick that. Break a window on the second floor. Must admit, I thought with the power off, that would not actually do anything. Uh-oh. I'm kind of surprised the alarm went off when I've killed the power. That's really weird, I don't get that. Isn't that the whole point of killing the power in this game, that you don't then get done by the alarm? I wonder what will happen to the painting. I wonder if the painting will still be at the front door, or will the police go inside the house and neatly put it back? Stoneworks, Jack, probably. Yeah, I know that, Major D. I've got one. I know that, but in this game, I've done it before. Like, one of the early missions gets you to turn the power off so you can literally walk past all the cameras and ignore the alarm. It never went off when you smashed a window. I personally think that's a bug. Let's go and see if the painting's around. Ooh. That's a cop. He stood at the front gate. And he's not actually on the radar. Interesting. Let's see if he despawns any quicker if I do this. Smells in here, guys. Smells like sprouts. It's taken a long time to get rid of 1 star. Meanwhile, the power's like nearly gone back on. Maybe he'll stay there till the power goes back on. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know if there's difficulty levels in Langeville, actually. The police were called. Hide or run away. What? I can't help but think it just bugged. See, why is he still there now? Have to drive for 2 hours to the department's Christmas party tomorrow. May suddenly become ill. Why would you drive to a Christmas party, though?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. John Fezzer, thank you for the host. Work remotely. Yeah, but why would you drive there is what I'm saying. If I ever go to a Christmas party, I get on the train. That way I can actually have a drink and have some fun. If you go to a Christmas party that you don't want to go to, where everybody else is drinking and you're not because you have to drive, you are going to have the worst time. If you work remotely, you should be allowed to have a remote party. Brilliant. Break or steal a painting. Break the wine glasses. Don't have to do the window now, so we can just focus on stealing. Flash twice if you're leaving. Off he goes. I wonder if I can break in without turning off the power. No, I can't get past that camera. Try and grab the painting last. Break the wine glasses. Where are the wine glasses? Oh, there they are. $29. 16. Wait, what? We'll take it.